So we understand that we are all, in this age of grace and light, we are all anointed ones. So in a way, we're all Christ's, because that word just means anointed way. And as long as you're walking in that pathway of light, you're anointed. Even if you're not, just you have cognizance of that. And his first name is not really Jesus. It's just how we interpret that. But in his own language name, we know that name to be Yeshua. So sometimes I let people know that Jesus is not really the name. It's Yeshua. And the people whose story it is are still living, and they still have books, and they still have that name. It's there. It's a Jewish name. It's okay. Now, he was a leader of a small group, and he was scandalous because he walked a path of light differently than a traditional path. But he was an example to everyone. That's why we call him an avatar for those involved in metaphysical spirituality. Avatars are how spirit speaks through to the human condition and throughout time and space. So this was a man who did some things that caused other people to say, well, not only is he a man, he's a god. But if we do remember the story, he kind of says, why are you calling me this special guy? I'm not that special guy. In fact, the things I do, you do. You can do anything I can do, plus you can do more. Can we do more than deity? No. But can we do more than the anointed one? We're called upon to do so. And here's the example given in the story. This is a time of victory. So we have a scandalous guy who's kind of giving a Sanhedrin a run for their money. He's politically incorrect. He makes Donald Trump look kind of calm. And in fact, they're so against him that they arranged to kill him. But he already knows this. Walking in light, one of the benefits is you kind of get to know what's going to be happening pretty quick. You pay attention. How do we know this? Everyone here has a mother, right? Yeah, if you're human, you have a mother. And we notice that mom, she kind of knows stuff, even if you try hiding it from her, right? So imagine that ability to assess how things are happening around you is bumped up a notch. So that in walking in light, there are no surprises. And this is the victory of a person that's in leadership, right? You are in leadership of your own life. You have the power. You are complete with all the light necessary to have a most wonderful, enjoyable, compassionate life. You can heal. You can understand different energies that are around people. Sometimes we'll call them spirits. And in Koine Greek, the little diamonica that come and disrupt things, you can discern their energies. So in the story, there's a whole group of benefits and manifestations of walking purely in the path of light and love. It's a pill, path of light and love, right? So this pill allows you to feel good. It allows your brain to think with clarity, and it allows your behaviors to be a blessing to others. So that, you're not an also-ran there, are you? In a way, you are all kings and queens. You decide the outcome of your day. In fact, we believe that you are co-creators of your day. So if you're having a bad day, what do you need to do?
Change your head.
Yeah. Change your mind, change your world. And so you're never called upon to be a slave or to kneel in your own life. Kneeling's not bad, but its purpose is to worship. Its not purpose is to serve under subjugation. See, some people would say, well, aren't we under subjugation to God? No. We are, in that story, right? We are the children of God. We are the children of spirit. We are the ones who walk in light. And we shine so that others can know, number one, there is deity. Number two, there is power in the universe, an ordered power. And three, there is love. So if you were to come into a place, and cars haven't been here yet, what would you be riding? You'd be riding a white steed. That is the symbol of royalty, of power, of victory. And so when he rides into the street, you know, in Spanish we call that a camino. And camino can be translated one of two ways, a literal street or a way of doing things, a way of living. So I kind of figured the reason he comes in through the main street of town is that you get to ride into the population of your life, not as somebody who cowers and who is subjective to everything, but as one who leads and is victorious. We own the place. It's ours. It's given to us. The planet, in just its physical self, is what? It's a fallen realm. It's kind of broken. Because what happens in the universe that we know? Things are always breaking down. As soon as you're born, you're dying. As soon as the sun was created, it was dying. Right now, there's going to be an end to the sun. For us, it seems like forever because it takes a billion of a year for that to happen. But it's going to end. But how do we manifest that? Hey, you know what? There's victory over that. We are victorious today because within us, the thing that really matters is we're all riding the white steed. We are eternal and we have the power to decide how well or how poorly our life comes to be. We make that decision. Deity has given us the keys to the Cadillac, so to speak. So you get to decide whether you're going to use it for good or use it for bad or not use it at all. There are some people that think if they get something from deity, it's so special we can't use it at all. But the reason you're given gifts is that, hey, I don't want my kids suffering. I don't want my kids dying needlessly. I love my kids. And so God says, here are gifts. Use them. Use them wisely. You can use them any way you want because it's a gift. But you are accountable and responsible for how it gets used. Now the second thing that happens when we're considering that is the material element, the physical. That where the molecules are continually breaking down. So part of the story is that the Anointed One comes in on an ass. Every day that you come into consciousness from sleep, you come in on a physical vessel. That's your body. Your body is sometimes stubborn, like an ass, sometimes obstinate, doesn't work for you right, but it is the common thing. But is it something that we should think negatively about all the time? No. Because it is a vehicle of light. Yeah. It allows everybody to understand that even though we're kings and queens in our own world, we are also servants. Because the most effective and dynamic leader is also the most effective and dynamic follower. True? We learn that from leadership classes, wherever, if you're in business or in the military. The best leaders start out as the best followers. How do you develop compassion? How do you develop a way of living on that path of unconditional love, of being able to show your light even though you are in the midst of your enemies?
Yes.
To show your light even though things look very bleak, like the sun's not coming out today and destruction is imminent. Yeah, those are all illusions. We have other religions. The Buddha tells us that everything is an illusion. Why? Yeah, because it's for our learning. How do you know you have the power you have? Unless you use it. And so how are you going to use it? Well, your physical beingness will be presented with tasks to do. Now sometimes we call them tests. God's testing me, or God is trying to teach us all a lesson here. No, it's just a task of, okay, here's a situation that is not exactly positive. People are really perplexed as, where is God? We know where God is. Your light is part and parcel of the divine essence of all things. So if you're calling for God, where is God? He's right here. You can call on him anytime. He's right there. Spirit is available every millisecond of every day of every year throughout time. So in fact, after our physical bodies have done their job, we're going to live outside of time. Eternity is kind of a nebulous word sometimes. What does that really mean? Is that in the grand scope of things, there's really no such thing as time. In fact, Albert Einstein hooked time and space together to call it the space-time continuum. We're finding out that there's really some funny things with time, and that, in fact, it's more than just the clock ticking off seconds, and there's some type of progression in the universe. If there is this progression in the universe, you have control over it. How do we know this? Well, when you first met the person that you first love, and you sat and talked with them, it was like time stood still. You could swear you were only talking just a few minutes, but as you looked into each other's eyes and touched each other's soul, time stops. And then all of a sudden the sun's coming up, you're going, oh my God, I got to work in 2 hours. I got to get out of here. And all day long, that memory refreshes you. You're not really tired at all. In fact, in medicine we find out your body will produce neuropeptides and chemical compositions to help you defray the cost of fatigue. So, I know when I'm talking with somebody that I'm enamored with, it's like time doesn't really matter. And unfortunately, when you come back into consciousness of the mainstream of time, so to speak, it's like, I didn't have enough time. I want more time. I need to have more time. Because the mind starts formulating more than just an affection around our loved one. It's an incorporation into your reality. So, to be mindful of these two compositions, the steed and the ass, is to be mindful of the reality that we play in our own respective universes. You are the center point of reality. Your power is the power that runs your universe. And the name of that power is what? Love. How you get things done. How you think through your problem-solving methodology. All of that is love, because your main idea is what? Is to bless. That's our job. Free of charge, you know the secret of life. What are you here to do? To bless. To bless others, to be blessed. And that blessing comes in the form of what? Love. Now, do we recognize we have bodies? We're going to have bad hair days? Yes, that's a reality. Do we recognize we're going to have wonderful hair days? Yes. And then there's going to be those moments of clarity where you know your place in the universe. That your place is right here, right now, wherever you're at. Mathematically, here's the example. If the horizon is infinite all around you, where's the center? It's you. And no matter where you're at, the horizon is always an infinite distance away. Therefore, you are always in the center. So for those people that like to be the center of the universe, hey, that's a mathematical reality. Yes, Sylvia's the center of our universe. And make no mistake, I'm the center of mine. And I hope that you're blessed to understand that you're the center of yours. And as we touch each other soulfully and with light, we incorporate all of those infinite parameters together. And the power that we have as an ecclesia, a church, is that we love each other. To love one another in the bonds of spirit and light is to be what is considered a believer. So when you're cognizant of your place in the universe, when you can feel, when you can understand the light that you are illuminating others with, yeah, the first thing is a little bit of humility and understanding. What a wonderful accountability and responsibility. That for some reason, the idiot that I am is blessed every second of every day with an infinite amount of power. Yeah. We understand that sometimes if we insult people, if we argue with people, a word can cause a massive amount of destruction that no amount of other words can repair until love is brought back in, established as a foundation, and built upon. But guess what happens? Sometimes as human beings, we think we fail in that. And it's mainly because we don't have confidence. But that's the object today. You hold in your hand your victory palm. You are all victorious. And you should be happy every day of your life that in light and in love, you are able to rule your world, to serve others as royalty serves their country. This reality that you live in your universe, that is your country, that is your nation. You have your own flag. So, but our business is not conquering, but let's get together with other people. Rejoice and give thanks, share your power, share your love, share your compassion, and as we build things up, we dispel the shadows of war, we dispel the shadows of prejudice, we dispel the shadows of injustice, we dispel the shadows that inhibit anything that get in the way of that pure, loving light that Spirit is. And I leave you with that.
Beautiful. Beautiful.